All right. Hello, Dr. Dorothy.
Hello, Anne.
How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How's New York?
New
How's the
York
weather?
is humid but beautiful. The rain has gone down, so it's really nice.
Well, here in Columbia, Missouri, it's really nice. It's beginning to feel like fall.
Oh,
Yes, we're in the
already,
70s. Yep.
already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
feels so nice.
You're
Anyway,
ahead of the game.
yes.
Let's see what you have today. What do you
Yeah.
want us to talk about?
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Happy Hour. This is where we talk about any and everything that has to do with things that makes our life better. And the number
So,
one thing is finances.
yes,
So
very,
where do we
very
begin?
important.
We will begin with so Dr. Dorothy,
Yes.
what is financial literacy to you? Like what does it mean prior to you deciding to partake in this um
Venture.
business, in this venture? Yeah. What did
Okay.
it mean to you prior to knowing what it actually is?
I think for me, the two words were separate.
Mm-hmm.
Finances on this side and literacy on this side.
Mm-hmm.
Finance sounds scary. Literacy, well, can read and write. So I'm like, when they're put together, then it is something that I don't know. It feels not so clear as it
Mm-hmm.
does feel when I separate them. Because
Mm-hmm.
from what I've told you, you can see literacy. I know it's probably reading and understanding, comprehending what you're reading. But finance, I don't know, is it banking? Is it saving?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, what is it?
What is it?
So that finance piece kind of stayed a little bit confined and
Mm-hmm.
ambiguous to me
Mm-hmm.
for some time, especially when things like credit cards are introduced and
Mm-hmm.
digital it's not so clear. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where
That's
I can say I begin. What about you?
Well, for me, it never crossed my mind until I decided to do this business. So when I was asked what is financial literacy, I just went blank.
Oh,
At least with you,
no.
you broke it down. There's the financial part of it, then there's the literacy part of it. For me, I
Mhm.
just went blank. So I had no idea, no response, clueless.
Oh,
Oh, hold on. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so after joining the business, so what would you say financial literacy is in your own terms?
so in my own terms, now I am borrowing from having been licensed as a financial professional.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know it is something that entails things that are personal, that require you to get knowledge so that you know, for one, not only just how to make money, because how to make money, most of us are taught, hey, go work and go to school and then go to work. But how to make this money last long and last long beyond your own generation. So how to stretch money. It sounds simple, but it requires so many little nuggets to eventually be able to reach to a point where, yes, you get your money that is hard earned and then you have it grow. And it requires knowing some math, knowing some banking, knowing financial passive income, as they
Mm-hmm.
call it, knowing display, knowing taxes. No, it requires knowing many little things that you need to line up in a strategic way,
Mm-hmm.
not just random. The way
Yeah.
when you get employed and they give you that form for benefits, you just
Mm-hmm.
write, and
And you
submit,
don't
and you
even
think,
know what you're signing.
believing that people are going to take care of you. That yeah,
Yep.
hey, I'm in
Mm-hmm.
America. There's Social Security. Then, huh? You realize, nope, it's not that easy.
It's not that
One
easy.
has Yeah, one has to really be aware of so many little important things to be strategic with their money so that it can last and serve them and allow them to live the
Mm-hmm.
life that they desire.
That's true. That's true.
Uh-huh.
Well,
What about you?
for me, after joining the business, I came to realize that financial literacy is very broad, and you've explained it. It's very broad, but it's one of those things that after learning and understanding what it is, I regret not knowing about it 10 plus years ago. I really do. But at the
Uh,
same time, I'm glad that I'm knowing it right now because I am somebody who went from being an employee to self-employed. And those worlds are different, but they're the same in the sense that you're still trading your time for money. We are constantly chasing money. You go to school, you get a job, you want to make more money, you go back to school, and then you make more money. As you're making more money, you're paying more taxes. So it's like it's a loop.
a rat race, a dog catching its
Exactly.
tail.
Yes. And you know, as humans, we don't realize, but our life can be so monotonous that it takes somebody breaking that monotony, but just asking a simple question like, so Anne, where you're at right now, do you see yourself doing what you're doing right now for the next 5 years? So for me, that was a wake-up call.
I like that bit because in regular career, that question is asked.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're asked in regular career, you kind of look forward to the promotions you're going to get, whatever contribution you're going to make to the workplace. But when you're asked with regards to finances and personal life,
Exactly.
you like, what is this? I never thought of that. I
Me
guess
neither.
this house, will I still be paying the same rent? Will I have more money in the bank?
Mm-hmm.
No. I and I wish they ask that
Right?
in regular time, not only to do with
Mm-hmm.
careers or jobs or something like that. Because those ones I think we are taught to articulate, but that job is not there forever.
No, it's not.
I work for an institution that was opened in 1889,
Mm-hmm.
which means I'll be there and I'll be gone.
Yeah.
So what happens to my
What
life
happens?
outside that institution? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, financial literacy is really a nice complementary parallel to whatever question you ask around whatever you're doing in your life. That piece is a given.
Absolutely. And even
Mhm.
what stood out for me in terms of financial literacy, what it is emergency fund. So, because I am somebody who I was used to living from paycheck to paycheck, whereby if that check does not come in, I am stranded.
It's
Panic
true.
mode, anxiety, high blood
Standing
pressure,
as
stress.
you're thinking of who can I call to bail me out until
Yes.
next time.
And then
Yeah.
even when that check comes in, you've
Mm.
already spent it. You're already looking forward to the next paycheck. So when somebody told me
Grasping
about
for
emergency
financial.
fund and just understanding, do you have money set aside whereby if you can't go to work, maybe you're sick, life happens. Are you still able to sustain your life for the next 3 to 6 months? That never crossed my mind because I was just living in a
In a
circle,
loop.
like a, what do you call a guinea pig?
Yeah. No, hamster. The one that spins at a
Yeah,
spot.
there you
Yeah,
go.
that's what it's called.
I
Anyways,
love
let's transition. We've talked about our own
yes.
journey in the financial literacy. So let's see, why is it that in general people are afraid of financial literacy?
Yeah, so number one is a fear of unknown. And that one I can relate to going back to when I would be asked, what is financial literacy? I could not even define it because it has never crossed my mind. Just fear of unknown. And as humans, I will speak for myself. We fear new information. We fear new information. And I'll give a story of my mom, may she rest in peace. I remember when the ATMs came to be so many years ago. She
Uh,
was so scared because she could not understand how you're using a plastic. You put that
uh-huh.
plastic inside a wall, and then you
And
put
the
some
man.
numbers, and then the money comes out. She could not understand that concept.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the fear of unknown. And then I just wanted to be narrow-minded, I would say. I'm good enough with the information that I have. I know I am earning a living as self-employed. I'm making my money. I'm saving. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good credit. And that was it. So what about you in terms of fear of unknown?
For me, the fear of unknown, I still go back to, as an educator, we teach, there's a course, I think it's called Human Resource. I could be wrong, or it's called Finance 101 or something like that. And I remember being invited by somebody to go and give a talk about my relationship with money. And that was an interesting conversation, because interactions with money, some people started very early in life.
Mm-hmm.
They're aware of what to do. And in that forum, because it was kind of, we were there as a panel,
Mm-hmm.
I realized, yeah, my knowledge of money was pretty limited, and could explain why I would fall in the bracket of those people who do not want to venture, because I do not know much.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not want to venture, because there I'll be there showing that I don't know much.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it is also maybe class oriented,
Mm-hmm.
because in this panel where we were presenting, I must admit, probably I had the most limited interaction and knowledge of money
Mm-hmm.
out of the entire group. It was an international panel,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't that we are just some homogeneous group. But when I would hear people respond, I was like, And now when I fast forward to this platform, I realize, yes, that moment where I had to converse about my interaction with money, how I came into money, earning my money and trying to manage it, and even the cultural sense of what money means in the world that I grew up in, I realized, no, I'm not ready to interact with money the same way.
Mm-hmm.
There are many flashbacks, because I even recall somebody saying, oh, when you go to the US, don't use cash, because people use something called credit card.
Credit card, yep.
And how do you use it? And how do you, and when you come into a space where it's like it's common knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
you're the only one
Who
who
doesn't
doesn't,
know? Yeah. You almost kind of feel inferior.
and you
Mm-hmm.
stay quiet.
Yeah.
You don't want to, you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
get there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and then the second reason why people are afraid of financial literacy is past financial mistakes. Granted, I've been there. You mentioned credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I remember I ended up having like 6 different credit cards, and I ended up accruing a lot of debt because it was introduced to me in the sense that, yeah, it's a credit card, you can use it and then you pay it back. What they failed to tell me is that don't pay just the minimum. If you use it, pay all of it back. Because if you pay just a portion or the minimum that they require you to pay, you accrue
You'll still
interest.
grow. Mm-hmm.
Now, the one that killed me was one of my credit cards. The minimum payment was $100. $60 is going to interest.
Yep.
So I'm only paying $40.
Yep.
So now when you make a mistake like that and then somebody comes here with financial information, you're like, nope, I don't want to hear it. Yeah. And what about you? What are your past financial?
I can still think of a story that really fits well with mistakes being based on the fact that you're making a genuine mistake because you do not understand the ABC, the 1, 2, 3. And I think it's because at times it's the assumption that you know.
Yeah.
Because when you get a loan, I don't think people understand that, explain it to me like a 5th grader, like some Denzel Washington was saying in some movie, explain to me like a 5th grader.
Fifth grader, yep.
I read this novel called When the Spirit Catches You and You Fall Down, a wonderful story about a young child who had epilepsy and would be taken to the doctors and wasn't getting well. Mistakes. And the mistake in communication. So when this kid was being given medication prescribed, the doctor would say, hey, give the child 2 teaspoons or 3 teaspoons a day. Guess what the teaspoon these people were using?
Oh my.
the regular teaspoon that we use for scooping sugar and putting in.
Oh my.
So the kid was always, the medication was always underdose.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd come back and, they had the language problem. But it's the same money and our regular understanding crossover. The
Crossover, yeah.
example I gave. So this kid wasn't improving
Mm-hmm.
until somebody was assigned to the family, because I think they didn't think things were going right. And then to realize there was a miscommunication,
Mm-hmm.
that the medication you're buying has the teaspoon measurement. That's what you're using. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing with finance. If it's not clearly explained to you, you can do what you believe is right until you discover it's a mistake.
It's a mistake, yep.
Just say, I don't want to deal with it.
No.
And so if somebody comes even with something that is useful to you, you'll have that, you know what, I've been burnt. I'm not
Yes.
taking that route again.
Mm-hmm.
So it requires maybe somebody you trust, somebody you know for sure has your back, so then that you can pay attention to what you're saying, because, hey, people have been duped.
Oh, yeah.
And, a lot of happened. And so people don't want to repeat those mistakes.
That is very true. Very true. Yeah, the third one is a fear of being judged.
You want to be smart all the time.
All the time.
Yes. Nobody wants to appear dumb.
And like you said, when it comes to finance, people tend to be comfortable with the little information that they know, that they feel like if they were to voice their opinion or say something that they do not know about, yeah, they feel like they'll be judged. Because even me, prior to joining this platform, I was skeptical, because to me, back again, to me, and with the little knowledge that I have, I knew that in order for you to talk about finance, you have to have a degree in finance, you have to have master's degree, possibly even PhD. But like,
you want them to be killing it, nothing left.
Yes, and you have to go to a reputable university or college. But I came to realize finance is very broad. It's very broad. And it's not linear. It depends on what you want to learn in finance. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm glad that prior to joining this platform, what's the word I'm looking for? People judging me is not a problem for me, especially when I know what I'm talking about. Now, it's different if I don't know what I'm talking about. But if I know what I'm talking about, even if you judge, I'm okay with it because I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so kind of the knowledge base has given you some credit.
Yes.
That gives you the confidence that, yeah, I'm not.
And then also working with very credible providers in this platform.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. What about you?
Knowledge is power. I think knowing and feeling confident in the knowledge that you have. And for me, I know knowledge is gradual. You kind of keep expanding and expanding and expanding. But I think what gives me the confidence is the partnership. Not, you've said the providers are there, but I think also the partnership in the business, that you have people who definitely know more than what you do, and you aspire also to know, and just as they've done, but the benefit, that knowing that, they are able to explain things just a phone call away, that eases that anxiety or that fear that, oh, I might not know it all, but I know there's somebody who will take their time and walk me through. Yeah. And I think also the fact that technology makes sometimes some things workable, and you can teach yourself because you can access the information.
Yes, Google. We have so many graduates from Google University.
YouTube.
And YouTube.
Absolutely. Where you even see the person. You're not just reading, but you see the person explaining.
Yeah, so the fourth one that kind of goes hand in hand with fear of being judged is a lack of confidence, which is true. Because once you feel like people are judging you, then automatically your confidence just dies.
Generally, at times, coming from a space that you move into the finance world and the people you're interacting with, for lack of a better word, are a little different from you, it requires a little bit to be able to build that confidence. And I know that when you come from a system that is a little bit authoritarian, you tend to be a bit timid and you kind of look up to authority. So you look up to people who know, and still give the example of health. When you go to the doctors, they tell you, hey, have your questions for the doctor. But coming from a place where you think the doctor knows it all,
knows it
then
all.
you're not
Absolutely.
coming with any question. Finance is the same thing. You think, hey, the teller behind that the
glass,
barrier is the one knows it and I do not know. Then it limits your ability to.
And it goes back to what you said earlier on, like when you're an employee, you have those paperwork that they have you sign. And then when your paycheck comes, you're wondering, what are these deductions? You're forgetting you signed the paperwork.
And nobody explained to you.
No.
And at times I don't blame them, because when they're doing orientation, you're a whole room of you.
Yeah.
It's one person from HR. They're just going to say, turn to page this, sign down there, sign down, then okay, you're good now.
And nobody's asking questions.
Because you do not know. You only ask if you know. So if you do not know, you have no question.
And also to add to that, there's also people fear of numbers. When people hear finance, they're thinking, oh my gosh, now I have to figure out how to multiply, divide, this goes where, this goes where. I think it's different for me because I love numbers. But I've come across people who fear numbers and they're like, no. Back to the whole, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Some people, I think also, whatever they are told and they are able to take advantage of whatever it is that they're told, even if there's something better than what they've been introduced to, there's that fear of stretching. I had a friend who told me, hey, if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yep.
I'm like, you know what, with finance, there could be something better than what you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this idea of you want to settle just because you fear that, oh, you're going to disrupt. And maybe you fear also going to explain to this person who prepared you for this one that, you know what, I've changed my mind. I want to move. Because if they ask you, and why have you changed your mind? Then you're like, I'm not so sure, but a friend of mine told me there's something better. Then if they're confident in telling you, no, there's nothing, then you're back to, okay. So you are in a loop.
Yep.
Not confident, unsure, don't want to be judged. And then you sit back.
You sit back. And that's a very good segue, because the last one is a fear of change. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Fear of change. And honestly, for me, I remember before I became self-employed and just running my own business, I was very fearful of change, because I'm so used to getting paid every 2 weeks. So now I'm thinking, if I branch out and do my own thing, the first thing I'm thinking is, what if I fail? Instead of thinking, what if I succeed? And even if I fail, at least I tried.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's that fear of change when it comes to finance, because for me, that was my biggest fear. And then I just decided, I am not happy though. Yes, this paycheck is coming every 2 weeks, but I'm not happy. I'm tired all the time. I'm stressed. And I'm glad that I took that leap of faith and I overcame fear. Granted, in the beginning, it wasn't easy, but it was worth it. So yeah, there's also that fear of change.
And people will also discourage you from change. People will also tell you,
even get me started with people.
all sorts of things. I listened to this lady who wanted to go back to school so that she can get a better paying job. And her boss was like, no, don't. Why? Not because they care about you. No. You're just doing a good job, so they want you just to stay.
Yeah, just to stay.
Yeah. And change is scary.
It is scary, but it's worth it. I am a firm believer of change is a beautiful thing. It is scary, but it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Yes. Because if it
Yes,
was not for change, you and I would not be talking right now, doing a Zoom.
absolutely. If we didn't, yeah, we'd be like, oh no, we are good where we were. And then you realize, no, there's something. Will
There's
Smith
something
says
else out there.
that the fear, the edge of that fear is where life really happens.
Oh, yes. That is
So,
very true. That is very true.
and for him, it's physical. For this one, it's finance.
It's finance.
So I don't need to weight lift with
No,
money and what have you to get
no.
ready, but just be open
Yeah.
to
But
listen and
yeah, in summary, this is our first time recording this. So we just tackled 5 reasons why people have a fear of financial literacy and kind of explain what we understand what financial literacy is. So next week we will tackle how we overcame all those things we discussed today. So in summary, we have 5 reasons why people are afraid of financial literacy. We have fear of the unknown, past financial mistakes, fear of being judged, lack of confidence, and fear of change. So next week we're going to tackle how we overcame all those things.
thank
I'm
you.
excited. So people can comment below. We'll give you our tags, social media tags, and all that stuff. And we will see you
Any
guys next
questions?
week on the next happy hour.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Good
Okay,
night.
let me stop recording and then.